Hello, and welcome to episode 106 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
We are here today to bring you everything Syracuse Vegfest.
Indeed we are.
But before we jump into all that good stuff, let's talk about how our trip to Syracuse went and what we did and who we saw and...
Sure. So, we got on the road about midday on Friday in preparation for a Saturday fest. And our first stop was in Rochester, New York to pick up a new t-shirt design that was printed for us by Kitty Box Printing in Rochester. And we met the lovely people at Kitty Box.
Yeah, Ian and the team there at Kitty Box Press. They have a really cool space there.
They really do.
It looks like a really fun place to work.
Yeah, I seriously just kind of wanted to drop everything and join the team.
Yeah, just hang out there and print shirts.
Yeah, totally just wanted to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
So cool. And we had planned on maybe trying to grab lunch there in Rochester, and I was really looking forward to maybe trying Squatcho's Pizza, but their hours are, I think it's 10 to 2.
It's 11 to 2,
yeah.
and then 4 to 9 or something like that.
Yeah, and we missed the window.
We did.
Yeah.
We missed the window. We got to Rochester a little bit too late for the lunch window,
yeah.
and, we wanted to get to Syracuse. We just missed it. So
Yeah,
we'll have
did.
to prioritize that for next time.
Yeah, I do want to get back to Rochester sometime in the near future and try out Squatcho's because I've heard so many really awesome things about that place. And
Yeah.
I want to check it out.
Yeah, me too.
Come on. We have to go to every vegan restaurant between here and wherever we can drive to.
Well, there are a lot of places we can drive to. I mean, what kind of time frame are you talking about?
Within a day, within a day.
Even within the space of a day, that's New York City, that's Boston.
Yeah, I suppose so.
All right, yeah, Chicago, that's... Which direction do you want to go?
Well, we'll have to discuss this at a later time.
It's probably wise.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, so let's not hem and haw or ramble as we, and especially me, tend to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just headed to, from picking up our t-shirts in Rochester, we headed towards Syracuse to our Airbnb, which was one of the quirkiest Airbnbs we have ever stayed in.
Yes.
Sam said this is what happens when Christine picks the Airbnb.
I did say exactly that.
Yes, it was a lovely house, totally appointed in antique furniture and stuff, and it totally felt like we were both staying at our grandmother's house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked in and I'm like, wow, this smells like my grandmother's house.
Yeah. It was a really cute and quirky place.
It was adorable.
It had a million little rooms. You know how older houses have a million different little rooms?
I'd never seen a house laid out quite like this.
Yeah.
It was just all of these, it felt like almost hidden passageway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was there was almost an entire second apartment off of the main part of the house. It was so odd.
It was odd. There was a little kind of butler pantry area, and it had also another small, apartment-sized stove and sink and everything in there.
Had its own bathroom, had its own living room.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, so our buddy Andy from Compassion Co., we always offer for him to stay if he's anywhere near us during fest season so that he doesn't have to sleep in his van. And we put him back there in the strange little extra apartment.
Well, because that's where the second bedroom was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were banishing him or something.
No. So after Andy showed up, we went to Strong Hearts in Syracuse.
Yes, which was the obvious choice because Christine had learned earlier in the week that Strong Hearts had brought their Reuben back for the fall season.
Yeah, their fall menu is back up again, and I love that Reuben, so I was really excited to get my hands on that sandwich again because it's one of my favorites that they make.
And you certainly did. And was it all you expected?
And more. Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah, their Reuben is just what it says. It's a Reuben with vegan corned beef and slaw and a nice Thousand Island dressing. And I had it with a side of fries. And then Andy had his old standby. He always wants to get something different, but every time he says he has to get
the sweet, sassy molasses.
Yeah, the sweet, sassy molasses. He can't seem to tear himself away from it. So he had that and a side salad. Then
Which makes sense because it's a great sandwich.
It is a good sandwich. What did you have?
I had something that was new to me on the Strong Hearts menu, and that was the NYC chopped cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a Philly cheesesteak, but on it also are grilled onions and peppers and also some lettuce, tomato, a little bit of mayo. So it's, to me, kind of like an elevated cheesesteak.
Yeah, the chopped cheese is a New York thing.
It is a New York thing.
Yeah.
And I really loved it. Yeah.
It looked really good.
Oh, it was so good. And surprisingly light. You know, you would think a sandwich like that, especially something you're getting on kind of a hoagie roll.
Yeah.
You would think that would be kind of heavy and you'd just be stuffed afterwards, but I wasn't. I was really, really pleasantly surprised. It was incredibly flavorful, really satisfying, but, you know, not heavy at all.
Yeah.
Which was great. And I had that with a side salad.
Yeah, so a good time was had by all at Strong Hearts as usual. Good food, great location, and we were kind of hoping to find something spooky to do because that's what we did last year with Andy. That we went to
Right.
Fright Nights or Fright Fest in Syracuse, but apparently it doesn't open until October now.
Right.
So no spooky stuff for us.
No, not this time. Yeah. I mean, last year, Syracuse Vegfest was in October. So.
Oh, was it later last year?
was.
And that's why? Oh, okay. Okay. I wondered about that.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was.
Yeah. So we just went back to the Airbnb and just, chatted it up for a couple hours and
Yep.
until we knew, hey, we got to get to bed because we got a big day
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah. And before we jump into all of that jazz about the fest and everything, let's tell people where we are next.
So this weekend, and that will be both September 30th and October 1st, we will be at the Panama Rocks Foliage Fest in Panama, New York, which I'm really excited for. If you've never been to Panama Rocks, it is an absolutely stunning kind of park and
it's a park.
hiking area. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's almost indescribable. You really kind of have to see it for yourself.
Yeah, there's all these really cool trails amongst all these giant rocks that have been there since like the Ice Age. And it's a good time and it's really pretty up there this time of year. So
Absolutely.
that should be fun.
It sure will be.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend, on Saturday, October 7th, we will be vending at the Fall at the Farm Festival at Mockingbird Farmed Animal Sanctuary.
We will. We just decided on that yesterday. We were talking about it in Syracuse, whether we were going to go or if we were going to table there, because I knew they were still kind of looking for vendors. And so we kind of decided, like either there in Syracuse or on our way home, that we should table there. And then when I got home, I had an email from Janelle at Mockingbird Farms asking us if we wanted to table there. I'm like, well, I guess that cinches it.
Yeah.
We're tabling.
It seems it was kind of destiny.
So this is a fundraising event for Mockingbird Farm Sanctuary, and everybody that should come out and support the vendors there. And there's a big raffle going on and all that jazz and animals and fun. So
yeah, all kinds of good things.
Should be a good day. And while we're talking about that and the stuff that we'll be vending, I wanted to remind people to follow your Etsy site.
Yeah. So my Etsy site, Cucumber Craftworks at Etsy, is a little bit behind the times. I've not updated it recently with all of the new stuff that I have going on. But after these live events, I will take some time to do exactly that. So the site will be up to date for the holiday season.
Yeah, so go out and favorite it on Etsy if you can. And then when all that stuff ends up on her site, you will be notified.
There you go.
Yeah. We don't have a recipe of the week this week. It has postponed for the sake of time because we have so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. And also, yesterday we got home and we were kind of pooped and neither of us was feeling cooking.
No, plus we had food that we brought from Vegfest, which we will talk about.
We did. So, we got to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just dive into our noteworthy section.
Sure thing.
And in this week's noteworthy section, we're kind of continuing our ongoing series concerning the dairy checkoff program, only because the other day, actually it was last week, I was posting some things on Facebook for the podcast, and I got a targeted ad from an organization called Milk for Health, which I thought was interesting that I received that targeted ad. And Milk for Health is actually an org. It's milkforhealth.org that is created and funded by, you guessed it, the dairy checkoff program.
So Milk for Health on the Niagara Frontier was incorporated in 1941, making it one of the oldest dairy promotion organizations in the United States. Since day one, the goal of the organization has been to support the dairy farmers of Western New York, promote dairy products, and educate the public about the goodness of milk. The organization is funded through the New York State Dairy Checkoff Program and works with family-owned co-ops and milk producers of all shapes and sizes in Erie, Niagara, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Wyoming, and Allegheny counties and part of Genesee County. Milk for Health educates its farmers on how to better communicate with the public and welcome the public to their farms. MFH also works with several local organizations like the Erie County Agricultural Society to promote the benefits milk has on a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, and their page, of course, is plastered with all kinds of happy cows and happy kids. They have a section called For the Kids. They have an event section, an On the Farm section, a recipe section that's called Make It With Milk. It is what it is. It is a organization to promote what they're saying, the health benefits of milk.
Right.
It's just another cog in the wheel of the dairy checkoff program.
It is indeed. And Milk for Health reaches kids in a number of ways. First, by media. In terms of media, they have commercials on all of the major local television stations in Western New York and have for decades. They also advertise on radio, streaming sites, social media, and other platforms. They are a partner with the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Children's Museum in downtown Buffalo, producing monthly events and activities such as Bite Size Buffalo, Honk for Heroes, Find a Truck, National Farmers Day, Storytime, and virtual STEM programming. They are also partners with magician Rob Allen, who brings fun and magic to nutrition and, as they say, is a joy to watch for all ages. Allen performs at more than 100 schools throughout Western New York and at the Explore and More Children's Museum.
Yeah, not to give a plug to anybody who is touting the things that Milk for Health want to say.
No, not at all. It's just to, I don't know, to bring a certain awareness to how many avenues the organization will take to get their message to kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just thought it was interesting because that this is a more locally focused. We do live in dairy country.
We do.
And I've never heard or seen of this organization, and now ads are being targeted to us for things being funded by the checkoff program, which is interesting because, cool. I want to know what they're up to. On their kids page, they do have a number of things and activities that they do, like Sam was talking about. And one of them is a very disturbing activity called calf feeding. It's one of their most requested activities. They bring live calves in for feeding sessions and question and answer. So they bring 2 or 3 calves and everyone has a chance to feed, cuddle, and ask questions. Probably the first question I would ask is, why are we feeding these calves and not their mothers?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So there's other things. There's virtual farm tours, there's cooking classes, there's the magic shows like Sam was talking about, and all kinds of other activities that kids would love. So I just wanted to, I guess I just wanted to make everyone, at least in our local area, aware that the dairy checkoff program and the things that they do are affecting us on a local level. And I had never heard of this organization before, so I thought it was interesting.
Indeed. It certainly is.
Yeah. So we'll keep you posted if we see any more interesting and disturbing things that the dairy checkoff program is funding. And that brings us to our main topic, which is the Syracuse Vegfest.
The Syracuse Vegfest, otherwise known as the Central New York Vegfest. Mm-hmm. It was such a pleasure to be there and be vending this year. We did go to the fest last year to kind of check things out, and we had a great time there as well. But I tell you, Saturday was just kind of a perfect day.
It was great. The weather was fine. There was no sun. It was cool.
That there was no sun.
The only downfall, anything weather related, was the wind was a bit much in the beginning.
We were fighting some wind, particularly with setup in the morning.
Yeah.
It was a bit challenging. Some of our stuff kept blowing over.
Yeah.
But all in all, just so easy. Like the fact that getting to the venue, we could drive right up to our site.
That was nice.
For setup. That is just one of the best things ever. That we're not like hauling boxes and crates and bins of stuff, you know, over hill and over dale to get to our site.
It makes such a difference that you're not completely wiped out after setup.
It really does. Yeah. So that was just super, super great. Also, there was a nice amount of space between vendors. Like you were close enough to say, you know, hey, how you doing? And have some banter back and forth. But there was also plenty of room for, you know, customers and people attending the fest to like move in between booths, which was really great. Sometimes things can feel a little tight at a Vegfest. And so this was definitely not the case. As Christine said, there was no sun. The temperature was perfect. Like, I tell you.
It was very autumnal. The fest was in a new location this year in the Inner Harbor, at the Inner Harbor in Syracuse. And they have plenty of room for more vendors.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully if they do it again there next year, there'll be even more vendors because there was plenty of space for more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be great to see.
Yeah. And on that note, let's talk about some of the vendors.
Yeah, let's. So we were nestled right between Quillen's Crafts and Pie's The Limit.
Good location.
Outstanding location.
We loved our location.
We really did. Because being next to Quillen Capello and his crafts, it was just delightful.
It was.
Seeing all of his work was really incredible. And if you've never heard us talk about Quillen before, he is, I believe, 8.
He is 8, and he is, as far as I know, our youngest listener.
Yes, and just incredibly bright, incredibly precocious, and a very talented young artist.
Indeed.
Yes, so he was selling these super cool, like, snakes.
Yeah, he made these snakes using used thread spools, and then he made clay heads for them.
Yeah.
And some of them were actual snakes that exist.
Right.
Some of them were mythological snakes, and some of them were just cool snakes that he came up with. And they were, really neat.
Just super awesome.
Yeah.
And then he also had a number of variously sized small canvases, little square canvases that were painted, most of them with really fantastical sea creatures, and every single one of them had a story.
Yeah.
And it was just so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the stories of his work are the best part. If you ever buy any of Quillen's work, make sure you get the story behind it.
Yes.
For sure.
Super important.
Yeah.
So that was on one side of our table. And then on the other side, we had Pies The Limit, who were right at home in Syracuse.
Yep.
And last year, I remember I got from Pies The Limit a hot cider, because they were doing hot cider that day. And we got a strawberry rhubarb galette.
Yeah, I remember they were doing the galettes last year. It was so good.
And they were so yummy. But this year, instead, we wound up with 2 of their savory pies, the chickpea curry hand pie and the root vegetable hand pie.
Yeah, we'll tell you more about that when we get to the food section.
We will, because those were things that we brought home with us.
Yeah.
Now, across from us, we had Green Planet Grocery, which is a family-run health food grocery store in both Syracuse and Oswego, New York. And right next to them, we had Spirit and Abundance Vegan Cheese. Their owner, Allie, is a Rochester-based vegan cheesemaker.
And some of our favorites were there, too. There was Strong Hearts from Syracuse, Fat Cat Baking that we love. Of course, Andy and his Compassion Co-booth was there. Lord Street Lather, which we haven't seen since Western New York Veg Fest last year.
Yes.
Burning Books was there. Burning Books is everywhere.
They are.
No matter where we go. They were in Pittsburgh, and they go all over the country. I see them post. They're all over. They're on the road almost all summer long. Azempe Kitchen, which is an African food vendor. We'll talk about them more in the food segment, and we were really glad to see they were there this year because they had to bow out last year, and we were a little disappointed in that. Nikki's Bicky's Baked Goods, Parlor City Vegan was there, White Muck Vegan Clothing, the Syracuse Vegan Living Program, of course, Vegan Central New York was there. They had their own tent set up. The People for Animal Rights, Chris from the Vegan Zombie was there, and even more that we didn't get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really was a great day. Plenty of people, plenty of vendors. It was just a really great event.
And along with all of the great vendors, there were speakers and presenters at this really cool amphitheater that they have. It's right on the water.
Yeah.
In the park there. Let's see, who were the speakers?
Well, things started off with a pre-fest yoga session at 11 a.m., and that was conducted by Shakila Sago.
Yeah, we were setting up, so we couldn't partake in any of that.
No, unfortunately, I felt like I was feeling kind of stressed by setup. I really felt like I didn't have enough time.
I kept telling you, you have plenty of time.
Well, no, but I was literally setting up until about 10 minutes before.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of stuff.
It opened. I've got a lot of stuff.
You do. You have a lot of stuff.
Like, seriously.
And you were stressing it. I'm usually the one that stresses, but I think we've just done it enough times that I don't stress about it. And I would help Sam set up her stuff, but she wants it a very particular way.
Well, I just like to see how things fit together, and I like having time to do that. And besides, your setup is really pretty quick. As soon as I get your sticker display put together, you're good to go.
Yeah, I got to put out my stickers, my buttons, set up the T-shirt display however I want it. And we did bring yard signs that say we leave our leaves. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't display them because the wind was turning them into sails.
Right.
So we didn't sell any of those. But yeah, I definitely have less stuff than you do.
Yeah. So it just takes me a little longer. Mm-hmm. And so I was feeling a little stressed by setup. So I probably could have benefited from the yoga session.
I should have just sent you. Go do some yoga. Yeah. I'll finish.
Actually, that would have been great. Next time, let's consider that.
Okay. And then you would come back and rearrange everything that I set up.
That's entirely possible.
Probably. Yeah, so after Shaquila's yoga session, it was at noon, Chris Cooney from the Vegan Zombie did a food demo where I believe he was making vegan tacos.
Can't go wrong there.
Yep.
At 1 o'clock, author and executive director of FARM, the Farm Animal Rights Movement, Eric Lindstrom, the Skeptical Vegan, spoke on vegan advocacy. And if I recall correctly, we met him at the AVA Summit.
We did.
Last October.
Yeah. And I did get an opportunity to talk to him on Saturday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And
I didn't, unfortunately.
He informed me that there will be another AVA Summit in D.C. Next October.
Cool.
So at 2 o'clock, Ethan Tayo did a food demo and spoke about the Three Sisters, which, if you don't know, the Three Sisters are corn, beans, and squash. He spoke about that and his Native American heritage and how it relates to vegan food and living.
And then at 3, Christine, our very own Christine, moderated a panel with a number of Syracuse vegan activists.
I did, with Sam's help. Sam helped me write the questions, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't even get to see the panel because, of course, somebody had to mind the store.
Right.
Yeah. And so, but she was moderating a panel with Rebecca Kelly, who is a registered nurse, a yoga teacher, and a certified health and well-being coach. Gregory Hall, a business owner and community activist. Kaija Rocket, who is the creator of Soul and Health, an organization that helps busy people cultivate useful ways of thinking, eating, and living. Sam Thompson, a 16-year-old that attends ESM High School. He was raised vegetarian and went vegan when he was 11. And finally, Ethan Tayo, who kickstarted and published a collaborative cookbook, started an urban rooftop community garden, and now works with universities and museums creating educational spaces around indigenous food culture and food sovereignty.
It was a great panel.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I was a little nervous before, but as soon as I got up there, the nerves went away. All of the panelists are really cool people. Very welcoming. They put me at ease, so I didn't have any nerves once I got up there. What made me nervous is when I saw there's a podium. I'm like, oh, there's a podium? Because I like to move around, and I thought,
don't like podiums either.
There's something about a podium that kind of intimidates me. I don't know why. And I've spoke many times behind podiums, like in my job and stuff, but I don't like them. But anyway, I dealt with the podium. It was fine. The panel went great. There were quite a few people spectating during the panel, which was great. And the speakers all had really, really great answers, and the time went perfect. We didn't go long. We weren't short. I did manage to get some questions from the spectators. And it turned out really well. And I would love to do that again. It was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you because you were nervous about that.
I was a little nervous before, yeah. But once I got up there, I was fine.
As I knew you would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
So after Christine wrapped up her panel, at 4:00, we had musician Amanda Rogers, who played for about an hour. And then at 5, for the closing hour, we had musician Ed Ordez.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing about the panel, I got some really good advice from Andy that he said, just remember not to take over, like let them talk, which, I mean, I wasn't going to, but I had him in my head the whole time going, yeah, just let them go. Let's just let them talk.
That's right.
And that made my job so much easier. It's like I didn't have to speak hardly at all. I asked the question. They all talked. All 5 of them gave their answer to the question, and I moved on to the next one.
There you go.
Thanks for that advice, Andy. Appreciated it.
Absolutely. And that, of course, one of the big things we have to talk about with any Veg Fest is the food.
Yeah, I mean, when people hear Veg Fest, I think that's what people think mostly of is the food.
Oh, yeah. I know it's what I think of most.
Is it?
Well, it is. Yeah, it really is.
Is it the first thing you check? What food vendors are going to be there?
Well, no, I mean, I check vendors in general.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily look for food vendors first, but, I get excited when I hear, which food vendors will be there.
Yeah.
At any given fest. So
yeah, especially because there's oftentimes people whose food we have not had a chance to try. So
yeah.
Well, when we were setting up, we got some food we weren't expecting.
We sure did.
Yeah, we were surprised and gifted this beautiful vegan cake by Crystal. Crystal and Jacqueline came up with this giant, beautiful blueberry fruited vegan cake.
Yes, it's a lemon blueberry cake.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stunning. Christine has not had a piece of it yet.
I haven't. I don't know why. We've been eating so many things. I'll get to it.
Oh, yes, you must.
Yeah.
Because it is a really beautiful cake. It is light. It is airy. It is moist. The blueberries are incredible. So, Crystal, thank you so much for this gorgeous cake.
Yeah,
it
looks really delicious.
Feeding us all week.
And then on top of that, Jacqueline gave us an entire box of these amazing biscuits from Nice Biscuit in Syracuse. If you've never been to Nice Biscuit in Syracuse, do not miss it.
Oh, yeah.
These biscuits are they're like 4 or 5 inches high. They're so super fluffy. And they're about as big around as maybe, I don't know.
A hockey puck.
That's what I was going to say, too. I didn't want to associate their biscuits with hockey pucks because they're not like heavy or hard or anything like that.
No, not at all. But size-wise, it's appropriate. If you put like 2 or 3 hockey pucks on top of each other.
Yeah, there you go.
You kind of get the size of a Nice biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they gave us this beautiful box of biscuits with all of their flavored butters and their vegan honey. And that was and I immediately ate one.
Yes, of course.
Because I am a sucker for a good biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we didn't even have to seek that food out. It came to us.
It sure did.
Which was awesome.
Yes. So we just want to take a moment to thank Vegan CNY, Jacqueline, Crystal, and the entire VegFest team who were just so incredibly kind to us.
Yeah, they were. They were the most gracious of hosts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The first food that we actually purchased at VegFest will probably not surprise you.
Nope.
It was from Grass-Fed Vegan Butcher out of Rochester.
Yeah, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know that I am a devoted fan of Grass-Fed Rochester, and not just for the food, but for Rob and Nora as well. I just think they are amazing, amazing people, and so I love supporting what they do. And they actually were kind of joking with me because the last time we were talking about a Veg Fest, when we were talking about Western New York, I said that because we had these beautiful sandwiches from Grass-Fed, that we were only going to get one sandwich and split it at the next Veg Fest.
Yeah, they heard that apparently.
They heard that and came up to me and said, so I hear we're only getting one sandwich today, to which I'm like, that's not going to happen.
And it didn't. No.
So as soon as things opened, because it's always a good idea to, if you have a specific vendor that you really want to make sure you get some of their food, go early.
Go there first. Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way at Syracuse Vegfest, which I will explain later. But so I made a beeline for grass-fed, and we got 2 of their gyros, which they so very cleverly name the Go Your Own Way.
Yes, the Go
Your
Gyro
Own Way. Gyro.
Yes.
Yeah, I love their names for their sandwiches. They're just great. And they were, of course, spectacular as always. The gyro is one of my favorite things that grass-fed does, and I can just say that they did not disappoint at all.
No, they were delicious and fluffy pita and
the tzatziki.
Yeah,
Their tzatziki is so good.
Yeah, and their gyro meat, their vegan gyro meat is just, it's perfect. It's tender and flavored perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good thing, a good first purchase, for sure.
Unfortunately, their gyro is also pretty light.
Yeah.
So, when we finished them, I was like, oh, we'll be able to eat something a little later.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Not immediately, but a little later, we'll be able to do something else. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and I think they're perfect. They're the perfect size, and I wasn't like full or anything after I ate it. So, and then throughout the day, Sam was sneaking away to purchase things from various vendors.
well, there were a couple of hours, throughout the day where we were just kind of slammed with people. We had a lot of people come to see us and chat with us, and it was really great.
Yep.
But always in the back of my mind was, I need to go support the other vendors.
Right.
And I need to make sure that we're getting some of these like prepared goodies that we can take home so that we can talk about them on the show.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that we got some cookies from Nikki's Bickies, who are out of Baldwinsville, New York. Got their oatmeal raisin cookies. We got a double chocolate chip
That's right.
cookie. And then they gifted us a kind of a cinnamon sugar donut.
Yeah.
We ate the donut immediately because it was still kind of warm in the package, and it was absolutely delightful.
It was like a cake
It was
donut.
a cakey donut with some cinnamon sugar on it. Very, very nice. And then we got, as I mentioned before, we got some savory pies from Pies the Limit.
Yeah, and what were those pies again? I know you mentioned it, but
The first one was the chickpea curry
Right.
hand pie, and the other was the root vegetable hand pie.
yeah.
Now, we had these yesterday for dinner, so we brought them home, and around dinner time, we popped them into the toaster oven and crisped them up a little bit. And as soon as I bit into the root vegetable hand pie, I was like, I should have gotten 2 of each of these.
Yeah. We heated them up and then I cut them in half. So we each had 1/2 of each pie. And they were both delicious, but there was something about that root vegetable pie, which was, I think, turnips and potato. And I don't know, it was delicious.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And it was like flavored with like rosemary and, all these
beautiful.
kind of warming herbs. And the crust was really good.
Oh, fantastic crust. Just amazing crust. Nice and crispy, nice and flaky, really delightful. And the chickpea curry hand pie, there was a lot of spinach in there.
Yeah, it
and
was
you had
good.
the chickpeas with a really wonderful seasoning. You got a really nice hit of garam masala.
Not overly spicy for people who
No.
don't like overly spiced curries. It was just, you like Sam said, you could taste the garam masala and the warming spices, but it wasn't like hot spicy.
Yes.
Yeah. They were both really good.
Yep. And so again, those were from Pies the Limit of Syracuse. Then we got some microgreens from Love Greens Farm, and they are out of Auburn, New York. And let me tell you, this might have been the best single bite that I had at the Veg Fest, because when I went to buy my microgreens, I got a sampler cup
Oh, of just greens?
of just microgreens.
Okay.
And I just popped the microgreens in my mouth, and the flavor was so fresh and so beautiful. I was just like, oh my God, I could just eat these all day.
Yeah, I tried them right out of the package yesterday, and yeah, they're really different and flavorful. And you don't think of microgreens having a ton of flavor, but these do.
These do.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to put some on a sandwich.
Yeah, I think
later
they'll be
this week.
perfect on a
Oh,
sandwich.
they're going to be so good on a
Yeah.
sandwich. Or, just on top of a salad would be great too. I had some of my favorite Thai vegetable gyoza from Trader Joe's last night because I was feeling noshy, and I put some of the microgreens on top of the gyoza, which gave it a nice, fresh contrast.
Yeah, that sounds
really
good.
lovely. So just amazing, amazing stuff. I also picked up 2 types of vegan cheese from Allie at Spirit and Abundance. And that was her Reverie 3 cream cheese and the smoked Gouda.
Yeah, I did try the smoked Gouda yesterday. Really delicious.
Yeah.
Now these are, what they are is like soft cheeses that would be perfect on like a cheese board or with crackers. I just took a knife and took a piece of it and stuck it in my mouth. It was really good, but they would be really super good on a cheese board or with crackers or something like that. So
nice. Then we decided this was, I don't know, this was say maybe around 4:30, getting close to 5 o'clock. We decided it was time to, maybe have a little more food. My intent was to hit Funkin' Waffles because I've wanted to have their stuff. I think we've missed them at 3 Vegfests now.
have we really?
I think so.
Well, what's wrong with us?
I don't know, but we missed them at last year's Syracuse Vegfest. We didn't go there because we were full from our cauliflower tacos and cauliflower wings and all that stuff. So,
They are based in Syracuse.
yeah. And I was hearing incredible things about their stuff all day. And by the time I got to the truck, they were completely sold out.
Oh, yeah, that's sad.
Yes. This also happened with the breakfast sandwich from Fat Cat Baking.
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
Which Christine was disappointed in because there's nothing Christine likes more than a good breakfast sandwich.
There's something about breakfast sandwiches. If I can get a breakfast sandwich, I want a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
Even if I can't get a breakfast sandwich, I want a breakfast sandwich.
Yep.
Where can I get a breakfast sandwich?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm bummed we missed that.
Yep. And so instead, we did manage to get our second and kind of last meal of the day from Parlor City Vegan out of Binghamton, New York, which was a new experience for both of us.
Yeah, I got their arancini burger, which is a pumpkin risotto arancini made in it. They really literally just put this giant ball of this pumpkin risotto arancini on a burger with an apple and carrot slaw. And it was so different and light. And not what you typically think of when you think arancini. You think heavily fried and rice and cheese and heavy, right?
Right.
And this was not that at all. And the combination of flavors between the pumpkin risotto and the apple and carrot slaw was really well balanced, and it was a really good burger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, some of that apple and carrot slaw also made it to my choice from Parlor City Vegan, which was their tofu tikka masala.
Oh, I forgot that you got that.
I did get that.
Right.
Yeah. So it was beautiful chunks of tofu, really nice and firm, beautifully cooked in this gorgeous tikka masala sauce on a flatbread. So basically on naan with some slaw. And it too was absolutely beautiful. So flavorful. The tikka masala sauce was outstanding. My only thing with this, and it's just because of what the weather was and all of that, but by the time I got my tikka masala flatbread back to our booth, when I took my first bite, it was cold.
Oh, that's not good.
So I was a little disappointed in that because I wanted this, because with Indian inspired food, the warmth of the food just kind of elevates all those warming spices.
Right, yeah.
And I kind of wanted that experience.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, no, and trust me, it was still an absolutely beautiful dish. It was just that first bite, I was like, oh, I wish this was warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still finished it.
It didn't stop you from eating it.
It absolutely did not. And it was really beautiful. And I always appreciate a chance to have something Indian inspired. So
Yeah.
Thank you to Parlor City Vegan.
Then we also got apple fritters from Aurora's Cafe and Gifts, and I still have my apple fritter.
Yes, you do.
Which I have to eat.
You do.
I was going to have it for breakfast, but then I had leftover biscuits, so I had a biscuit for breakfast.
When you've got multiple breakfast options.
I know. I know.
Well, you'll have it for breakfast tomorrow.
I will, because it'll be outstanding with a cup of coffee, I'm sure.
Oh, it'll be fabulous with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
No question. And then as a surprise at the end of the day, we got a dish of wonderful West African food from a Sempe Kitchen. They're out of Ithaca, New York. And we actually took that back to our Airbnb with us and had it a bit later in the evening for a small dinner.
Yeah, kind of a late night snack.
Yeah, kind of a snack.
Dinner, yeah.
It was jasmine rice.
Jasmine rice, thank you.
This was beautiful jasmine rice.
Yeah, with this wonderful spinach dish.
Yes.
And then this peanut, like a peanut curry. It's not
almost
really
a peanut curry. Yeah, but a beautiful peanut, like almost satay. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
both dishes were gorgeous.
I love anything with that West African peanut stuff. Our friend Jessamine does a West African peanut stew. Mm-hmm. That's delicious. And Chef Kua Kua she doesn't have a brick and mortar. She does pop-ups and stuff. But if you go to her website, if you go to the Sempe Kitchen website, number one, it is a beautiful website. I don't know who designed her website, but it's fantastic.
Nice.
But she does like cooking classes and all kinds of amazing things in the Ithaca area.
So yes, they do catering, classes, culinary experiences, farmers markets, pop-ups, and private lessons. They are an approved university vendor. They are a Grubhub Community Impact Award winner. Yeah, so if you get a chance, please go to their website and check out what they do, and that is asempekitchen.com. And you can also purchase on their website their Asempe Moco hot sauce and their Asempe spice blend.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do some of that.
Yeah, I want to check that out. Mm-hmm. And I wish we were closer. I would love to take a class with Chef Ku'ukua.
Yeah.
I would love to take a class with her.
That would be fabulous.
I think it would be fascinating.
Okay, so I think we need to find another excuse to go to Ithaca.
Yeah.
And make that happen.
Like we need an excuse to go to Ithaca. It's so beautiful there.
True.
So I think that's all the food. I think I'm pretty proud of the amount of food that we managed to try, even though we were vending, because it can be really difficult to, like Sam said, support the other vendors while you're actually vending.
Right.
But you did a really good job of running around and.
Well, and I feel like that's just a really important part of being at a veg fest.
Yeah.
Is supporting other vegan small businesses. Mm-hmm. Which was great. One of the other things that I got to do, I was so super excited because Lord Street Lather
right,
was at the Syracuse Vegfest, and I hadn't seen them in over a year since Western New York Veg Fest of 2022.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
And I get to barter with them.
Yeah, they like to barter for things.
Which is beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, I ran over fully prepared to buy my soap, and I got 4 beautiful bars of soap and, immediately was asked, so you want to barter again? And I'm like, what do you want to barter? So came over to our table and picked out a set of washcloths, and I thought that was a perfect barter. Soap for washcloths?
Right.
Like, that's kind of great.
Yeah. And oh my God, their soaps, the smell coming out of that bag of soap was so incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So phenomenal. So I got 4 different soaps. I got their pumpkin soap, which will be a kind of a pumpkin. I got a lemongrass, and I want to say it's lemongrass and lavender.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about. I got a tea tree and turmeric.
Yeah.
Which I'm also really excited about. And I can't remember the last one.
No, I can't either.
That's okay. They're in the bathroom drawer now.
Yeah.
I have to wait until my current soap is gone before breaking one of them out. But
their soaps are beautiful, and I can tell you when you use their soap when you shower, like this fragrance just kind of fills the room. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's great. A million thanks to Chef Ku'ukua at Asempe, Rob and Nora at Grassfed,
Nikki and the team at Nikki's Bickies, the fine folks at Aurora's Cafe, Parlor City Vegan, Wally at Love Greens Farm, Fiona and the team at Pies the Limit, Allie at Spirit and Abundance, Crystal for the lovely cake, Jacqueline, Ian, and Quillen Capello. And thank you, Quillen, for the amazing tote bags, the beautiful thank you card, the handmade Kraken,
which is on our refrigerator right now.
There you go. And the amazing giant squid painting. We are so proud to own one of your pieces. Of course, the whole VegFest team, Emily, Robin, and Shelley from Syracuse Vegan Living, all of the speakers, musicians, presenters, everyone that stopped by the booth, and the entire Syracuse vegan community for making it an amazing and inspiring day. We definitely felt the love.
Yeah, we really did. You know, what an amazing community they have there. You know?
Yeah.
I always wish I lived closer.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. No, Syracuse is great.
Yeah.
We dig Syracuse in a big way.
There's some really fantastic people there. And we had a fantastic day. I can't say fantastic enough. It
Apparently
was
not.
fantastically fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. So before we headed home,
we had to do
Right?
something that we were unable to do last year, or I should say that we tried to do last year.
yes, but they were closed.
But we were unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And that was to stop at Nice Biscuit for some breakfast sandwiches.
Because I've heard nothing but rave reviews about Nice Biscuits breakfast sandwiches. So they couldn't vend this year because, I don't know, staffing issues or whatever. They couldn't pull it together to vend. So we knew they would be open Sunday morning, which was a win-win for us. Because,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we wanted some food for on the road.
We did. And so we stopped at Nice Biscuits. We both got their Rambler sandwich, which is 3 savory slices of bacon by Thrilling Foods, with Follow Your Heart American cheese and a Just Egg patty served on a buttermilk biscuit with Dang sauce, spicy and sweet mayo.
It was incredible.
It's
Even-
a breakfast sandwich that you crave.
Yeah, even considering that they're using, prepared products. That Thrilling Foods bacon is really good. The vegan grocery store also uses that bacon.
Oh, nice.
It's really good and bacony. And I didn't even think that was a Just Egg.
I didn't
fold.
either. I was absolutely convinced that was a house-made patty.
And I think it's just because they add so much great flavor with that Dang sauce, and it's put together really well, because you can have the greatest ingredients in the world, but you have to know how to put a sandwich together.
It's true.
In our family, Sam is the sandwich master.
I love making sandwiches.
I can make sandwiches, but her sandwiches are just like, they're elevated. There's something about the way you make a sandwich that just makes it perfect. Like the bread to contents ratio is always like perfect.
Thank you.
I, on the other hand, I can make a sandwich and it's a good sandwich, but it's not like a wow kind of sandwich. These were wow sandwiches.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is the kind of breakfast sandwich you crave. I'm going to have dreams about this breakfast sandwich. And
Oh, the Rambler.
the Rambler.
The Rambler.
And seriously. And the thing is, a breakfast sandwich, though I will occasionally get a hankering for one.
Yeah.
I'm not like Christine, where like the breakfast sandwich is kind of one of the pinnacles of comfort food.
Yeah.
But this one, oh my God,
So good.
just amazing.
Yeah.
And add to that along with the breakfast sandwich, I got to have a wonderful golden milk latte.
That's right.
Yeah. Again, one of my favorite things, and it was super turmeric-y.
Oh, it was. I took a sip of it.
Yeah, super turmeric-y, which was great. A lot of times with a golden milk latte, like the cinnamon or the ginger or the vanilla will kind of take over. But in this one, it was turmeric all the way.
Oh, yeah. There was no questioning the fact that was a turmeric latte.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So thank you to the people at Nice Biscuits for sending us on our way out of Syracuse with happy stomachs. And we just... Yeah, it was like I've said before, it was one of those sandwiches. When it's gone, you're a little sad.
Yes. Completely sad.
Yeah, so I think that wraps up everything for the Syracuse Vegfest. We can't wait till next year.
No, we really can't.
Like
if it could be in a couple weeks, that'd be great.
Yeah, and thanks again for inviting us to come and moderate. That was a really good time. I had a blast doing that. And if we get a chance to do that again, we'll send Sam up to the stage to moderate, and I'll stick by the booth. So, unless we can find a third person to come and watch our booth so we can do it together, which...
Well, hey,
you never know.
We have Lucy.
Yeah, maybe Lucy can come up and watch the booth for an hour while we moderate.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks again for the millionth
thanks, everyone.
time.
And of course, we want to send out a huge thanks to our dear friend, Andy Tabar from Compassion Co. It was just so great to see you and to get a chance to, reconnect and have some dinner and some laughs. And all that
it's
good
always
stuff.
nice when...
Such a pleasure.
When Andy and when we and Andy cross paths, it's nice that we get a chance to catch up with them. So
yeah, we love it.
Yeah, good times. So let's move on to our reason to be vegan. Do we have a reason to be vegan this week?
Well, I think so.
I'll give you one reason to be vegan.
Vegfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have no other reason in the world, Vegfest, baby.
Although, to be fair, you do not need to be vegan to fully enjoy a Vegfest.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, even if you're not vegan, hit a Vegfest. Because let me tell you, it'll open your eyes to the wonders of vegan food.
Oh, yeah.
So currently we are pulling our reasons to be vegan from the Humane League. And usually it's kind of my goal to attach the reason to be vegan in some way, shape, or form to the rest of the content of the episode.
Right.
Now, of course, because the Humane League is framing their reasons to be vegan as very specifically geared towards the animals' health and the environment, a lot of the reasons are kind of sort of downers. And I didn't really want to bring us down after such a kind of lighthearted episode.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So I decided to go straight to reason number 23. Now, reason number 23, which I'll get to in a moment, is prefaced by the question, is it really worth it to go vegan? It used to be that eating vegan in the US, the UK, and other parts of the world was a lonely endeavor. It was difficult to go to a restaurant and choose anything other than a small bed of iceberg lettuce or a side of fries. Unseasoned blocks of tofu were the norm, as were bland veggie burgers that fell apart in the bun. Not anymore. The evolution of alternative proteins like the Impossible Burger and Beyond Meat are so close to mimicking the flavor and texture of meat that they are essentially indistinguishable from the animal-based original. And vegan restaurants dedicated solely to dishing up plants in all forms are popping up in cities around the world, while vegan ice creams, yogurts, and milks are seeing a surge in popularity. And that brings us to the last reason to go vegan in 2023. Going vegan is an empowering, exciting, life-changing adventure. Eating vegan is about what you can eat, not what you can't. It's a way to explore delicious new foods that heal and nourish your body. It's a way to choose kindness every time you sit down to a meal. It's a way to make connections with new people and feel more connected to your community. And above all, veganism is a deeply powerful way to create the more compassionate, intentional world you imagine. So whether you choose to give veganism a try for your health, the environment, or the animals, you'll be creating an impact that extends far beyond yourself.
That's a good one.
And I think it's apropos to a Vegfest episode.
I think it completely fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job, Humane League, and nice job, Sam. And that brings us to what is usually known as our favorite part of the show.
So I'm sure you know by now that is listener shout out time.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's listener shout out goes to Megan Barbet, vegan, animal lover, Ravenclaw, feminist, and teacher who loves to thrift. Thanks for listening, Megan.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Megan. And if you would contact us with your t-shirt size and address, we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag.
That's right. You can email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com or DM Christine on Instagram or Facebook.
After hearing that Megan is a Ravenclaw, it made me think of this really cool Ravenclaw shirt that I got once at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that no longer fit me, and I had to donate it to...
Yeah.
It was very sad. I actually thought about just keeping it, and... You know, there's those companies where they make like quilts out of your old t-shirts.
Out of your old t-shirts.
I should have kept it
cool.
for that.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes, fellow Ravenclaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not a fellow Ravenclaw. I am a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
A proud Hufflepuff. And for the rest of you out there, if you'd like to get a listener shout out, just send us a DM or email us letting us know you listen and tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's time for our Vegan Org of the Week. This week's Vegan Org of the Week is Mercy for Animals. Founded in 1999, Mercy for Animals' mission is to prevent cruelty to farmed animals and promote compassionate food choices and policies. The charity achieves this through educating consumers, undercover exposure, corporate outreach, and legal advocacy. Mercy for Animals has run over 65 investigations of factory farms and slaughterhouses, many of which have resulted in animal cruelty convictions, changes in corporate welfare policies, and primetime news coverage. I will include a link where you can help support Mercy for Animals or become active in their mission.
Awesome. And that brings us to our wrap-up. As always, we encourage you to join the AFA Vegan Voter Hub and to support them in any way that you can. The Agriculture Fairness Alliance is lobbying in D.C. on our behalf so that our vegan voices are heard. If you want to be included in the conversation, join the Voter Hub. The link is always in the show notes.
Just a little update. The upcoming Farm Bill, which was to be voted on in September, has now been pushed to December. So if you want to reach out to your local legislator, I said legislatures, I don't know how many times. Was it last week's episode?
Yeah.
It was so annoying. It just, things come out of my mouth. It's not that I don't know the correct words. It's just they don't come out.
No, your brain and your
Right.
mouth don't always work
Yeah,
together.
so contact your local legislator and give them your thoughts on what you think should be included or not included in the upcoming Farm Bill.
That's right. Well, it's time for us to sign off. You've just listened to episode 106 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. There's nothing left to say, but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion. On the podcast. Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everybody.
Talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The end.
If you want to be included in the conversation, join the Voter Hub. The link is always in the show note.
Show nuts.
Let's do that again.
Show nuts. If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.